He told me he'd ruin my career. I said, do what you have to do. I don't care. I'm out.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're looking at behind-the-scenes dramas that actors didn't reveal until years later.
I don't think there's many young people that could have survived it. It was hard.
Kim Cattrall's relationship with her co-stars. If the spin-off and Just Like That proved anything, it's that Carrie Bradshaw just wasn't the same without her sex-positive bestie Samantha Jones.
Ta and cheerio. And have a great night.
Ta. Bye.
But Kim Cattrall's comments in recent years put the lid on any rumors of a real reunion. Rumors swirled for years that pay discrepancies came between Cattrall and her co-stars Sarah Jessica Parker, Kristen Davis, and Cynthia Nixon. However, these reports were often contested by everyone involved. But Cattrall lifted the veil on Sex and the City's on-screen friendships for good in 2017, revealing that she and her co-stars were never friends.
I don't see them. The common ground that we had was the series, and the series is over.
In fact, she's openly rebuffed Parker in interviews and on social media several times since.
If Sarah Jessica Parker watches this, what would your message to her be?
I think it's pretty clear.
Barry Williams' Growing Up Brady memoir. Nearly 2 decades after the blended family sitcom ended, the Brady Bunch's squeaky clean reputation got a major modern shakeup.
This is my room, and I'm not budging.
And I say it's my room, and I'm not budging.
Greg Brady actor, Barry Williams, released a memoir of his time on the show. Published in 1992, Growing Up Brady was a salacious look at the behind-the-scenes crushes and romantic hijinks that went into making such a family-friendly show.
How amazing was that kiss?
Rate the kiss on a scale from 1 to 10 with Barry.
And remember, I can hear you.
Williams even copped to asking his on-screen mother, actress Florence Henderson, on a date. It certainly added a layer of ick over the show's wholesomeness, and probably set the scene for the irreverent take on the family in the 2 movie adaptations released just a few years later.
I gotta go.
Janet Hubert's exit from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Fans of the Will Smith-led sitcom tuned into its 4th season to find a major change. Janet Hubert, the actress who originated the role of Aunt Viv, had been replaced. While the show makes a lighthearted joke out of it, the real story was not truly known for years.
You know, Miss Banks, since you had that baby, there's something different about you.
Hubert later came out with the full story. While she left the show of her own volition, a huge pay cut and her own personal struggles made The Fresh Prince an untenable situation.
I just wanted to know one thing. Why? Why so far? You guys went so far. I lost so much.
It didn't help matters that she and Smith clashed repeatedly on set over what she termed his, quote, egomaniacal behavior. The two have since made up and even talked at length about that period of time on the show's 2020 reunion special.
I think we were just short of 27 years that we didn't speak to one another. And I'm glad we're talking again.
Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford's affair.
But I became obsessed with Harrison long before it became fashionable. I was a real trendsetter in that sense. I started a craze.
In her final book, released in 2016, the actress and writer behind Princess Leia dropped a bomb that shook the entire galaxy. The Princess Diarist presents Carrie Fisher's diaries from the time she made the first Star Wars film. It also reveals, for the first time, that she and on-screen lover Harrison Ford engaged in a passionate romance that no one on set seemed to know about.
You like me because I'm a scoundrel. There aren't enough scoundrels in your life.
I happen to like nice men.
Nice man.
Though brief, the extramarital affair was intense and came at a time when Fisher was still finding herself. It's rare that such a bombshell could rock such a popular movie nearly 40 years after its release.
40 years ago, you have this affair over the months of the movie, and you say you literally never spoke about it again.
Sally Field and Burt Reynolds. Although the romance between the Smokey and the Bandit co-stars was routinely covered in the press, their feelings about it seemed to differ dramatically. In his 2015 memoir, Burt Reynolds said Sally Field was the one who got away.
Was she the one that got away? Is that what you're saying?
Woof. Yes.
Oh, woof means yes. Okay.
Woof means everything.
Field, who dated Reynolds for a few years after meeting on the set of their first collaboration, remembers their relationship with more clarity.
Instantaneous and intense. And I also said we were a perfect match of flaws.
Right.
We went together very well, but not necessarily for the right reasons.
His jealousy over Field's first Oscar nomination and win for 1979's Norma Rae saw him refusing to even attend the ceremony with her. Field is honest in her appraisal. Reynolds was not good for her, and she denies that she was the love of his life.
I was absent from, I was behaving the way I was taught, and that is to be loved, I had to disappear.
Linda Blair's experience on The Exorcist. Her performance as the demonically possessed girl was so terrifying, she became one of the youngest Oscar nominees ever. But even years after the making of The Exorcist, there are things that Linda Blair won't talk about.
Were you assigned bodyguards?
I won't talk about it.
No?
No, there's stuff I don't talk about. So, what's another one?
Warner Brothers actually had to hire bodyguards to protect her from death threats. People seemed to believe she was genuinely possessed. However, she's been open in the years since about an onset injury.
If you look at someone like Linda Blair, the studio had to get bodyguards for her because people actually thought that she might be evil.
The stunt where she is tossed around above a bed severely injured her back, leading to complications well into adulthood. Blair returned to the franchise for 2023's Exorcist Believer to advise and advocate for the two young stars of that film.
You know, pregnant women shouldn't go. People are throwing up. They parked the ambulances outside the theaters. A lot of this was PR.
Shannon Doherty's firing. The supernatural WB show Charmed saw a major cast shakeup midway through its run. Star Shannon Doherty left the show ahead of its 4th season.
And it's also great because we're a really small cast here. So we're usually all here together, which makes it fun.
Rose McGowan joined the cast in her place. Because of Doherty's past history being fired from Beverly Hills 90210 for unprofessional behavior, the prevailing rumor was that the same had happened again, but Doherty clarified the reasoning years later.
Rue's just pissy because this time she didn't get to play Wonder Woman. I'm not in the mood to soothe your ego.
Relations became so bad between her and co-star Alyssa Milano that Milano gave producers of Charmed an ultimatum. If they didn't fire Doherty, Milano would sue. Producers chose Milano, and Doherty was written out. This version of events was co-signed by Doherty and Milano's co-star Holly Marie Combs on a 2023 episode of Doherty's podcast, Let's Be Clear.
Alyssa and her mom, like they were blocking people from seeing you, and at the time, you didn't know.
The reason Brendan Fraser left Hollywood. Despite starring in a successful franchise and being a major star of the 90s, Brendan Fraser all but disappeared from show business in the 2000s. For years, speculation was rampant.
Fraser, the star of Encino Man, Mummies, and George of the Jungle, was one of the hottest actors of the late 90s and early 2000s. But his career came crashing to a stop.
It wasn't until his 2018 interview with GQ that he disclosed a traumatic and deeply personal event that saw him turning his back on his stardom. An incident of unwanted physical contact by former Hollywood Foreign Press Association president Philip Burke in 2003 began a chain reaction for Fraser.
Fraser says Burke grabbed him inappropriately in 2003 at a lunch at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Fraser saying he was overcome with panic and fear.
The traumatic moment only added to various health and professional setbacks that led to a career slowdown.
Who stood together, spoke their truth, and inspired me to do the same.
His comeback story culminated with an Oscar win for The Whale in 2023. Tippi Hedren's experience with Alfred Hitchcock. The master of suspense was one of the most famous directors in Hollywood when he spotted Tippi Hedren in a TV commercial. Hedren had never even played a lead role before Alfred Hitchcock decided that she was his next star. He signed her to an exclusive contract, seeming to believe he could control her life as well as her career.
He's seen your film and he's seen your photographs, you know, of all the different commercials that I had done. And he wants to sign you to a contract if you will agree with the
financial statements in the contract.
The harassment she endured only worsened on the set of their second and final film together. When she refused his advances, he promised to ruin her career. He kept that promise.
The legendary director who made her a star and then ruined her career because she refused to sleep with him.
It is the worst thing to be the object of someone's obsession if you're not interested.
Hedren kept things cordial with Hitchcock while he was alive. She even saluted him at public tributes. But as times changed, she was able to tell the world her story.
The harder I fought him, the more aggressive he became.
How serious was it? Did Alfred Hitchcock try to have sex with you?
Well, never got that far. I stopped it immediately.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Nickelodeon actors reveal their mistreatment.
My name is Drake Bell, and I came here today to tell my story.
Have you ever told your story publicly before?
I've never told my story publicly.
Millennials everywhere were scandalized by the investigation discovery docuseries Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. Detailing various inappropriate situations, it was a devastating and damning expose of Nickelodeon. Actors who had spent many of their formative years at the network gave interviews to attest to the often disturbing work environment there. Performers like Drake Bell, All That stars Kyle Sullivan, and Brian Hearn were among the former child stars who shared their stories.
He flipped the thing around, and on the back it said, "To Brian, I hope you enjoy the painting. Best wishes, your friend, John Wayne Gacy."
The 5-part series was a shocker. It gave credence to long-standing rumors about executive producer Dan Schneider's abhorrent behavior. However, it also made us realize that things were even worse than the wildest internet rumors could imagine.
You know, what am I gonna call my mom and be like, "Hey, this just happened. Can you come pick me up? I'll just sit here and wait." I had no car, I didn't drive. I was 15 at this time.
What behind-the-scenes secrets changed the way you thought about a movie or TV show? Let us know in the comments.